Hey everyone, just wanted to give you a quick heads up. The second Global Product Owner Summit is coming soon. You can get all the details at bit.ly/Product Owner 2024. That's bit.ly/Product Owner 2024. And it's all lowercase, all one word. Oh, and stick with us until the end of the episode to know the dates and the tracks that we have for you in this year's summit. But for now, let's dive into today's episode. Hello, everybody. Welcome to our Success Thursday, the question of the week here on the Scrum Master Toolbox podcast. And this week we have with us Lynn Runnels-Moss. Hey, Lynn, welcome back.
Hello, thank you.
So let's start with the retro that you favor. We'll talk about success in a second. But first, what's your favorite retrospective format and why?
So I love retrospectives. It's like my favorite thing to do. I like to switch them up because I think it's really important with a retrospective to kind of make sure people are getting into that system two, thinking slow, deep thinking about how to change things. And in that spirit, I have two kind of favorites. My first favorite is based on Nancy Kline's work in Time to Think. And I call it a thinking environment retrospective. And it's basically a set of rules and a question. So you pick a topic that's about something that the team needs to reflect on. We use this quite a lot for focused retrospectives. So maybe somebody's having trouble with refinement. This team is having trouble with refinement. The question is, what are your thoughts about how we might improve X, in this case, refinement? And the rules are, I'm going to ask that same question to every single person in the room. However, no one can interrupt while the other person is speaking. You have to wait your turn. Everybody can talk for as long as they want until they're done speaking their mind. And you go around the room. Now, normally I have to kind of make sure people understand that they can have a pen and paper to kind of write down questions or things that they want to say later so that they don't interrupt. So I have to give them kind of coping mechanisms because some people really can't stop themselves from interrupting. But what's brilliant,
I am one of those people, as everyone listening to this podcast knows. Oh, sorry, I did it again.
That's fine. So there's something about being listened to without interruption that is exquisite. And it makes you feel understood in a way that nothing else kind of replicates. But what's even better is it gives people an opportunity for their thoughts to evolve as they speak. So they end up saying things that they don't even expect to say and coming up with ideas that they don't even have when they start speaking. So after I've done kind of the round of what are your thoughts about this problem, the next question, done the same way, is what surprises you about what you've just heard from your teammates? And then we do another round. And then the last round is, what do you want to change? Everyone has their opportunity to speak. Everybody has their opportunity to be heard. People always say to me, oh, but that's going to take too long. I promise you, listening exquisitely to what one person has to say is much faster than trying to have 6 people talk at you at once. And
which are probably having like 10 different conversations.
Exactly. So that's my favorite. I love giving people that thinking environment, that space to really talk through a problem deeply and really listen to one another.
You mentioned Time to Think. Is that a book that you are referring to?
Yes, it's a book by Nancy Kline, and it's a fantastic book. I highly recommend it. She's got another one called More Time to Think as well. Fantastic
Great
book.
Titles.
Yeah.
All
Very
right,
original.
great. We'll put the link to those books on the show notes. Make sure people can easily go and find them. But let's divert our attention to what success means. So, Lynn, the question is very simple. The answers are often not so simple, but what does success mean for you as a Scrum Master?
Is the team that I am working with delivering value to the client and the customer. Real value. I don't get to determine what that value is. The client and the customer determine what that value is. This is the sole measure of success from my perspective. You can kind of add metrics to the cows come home, but if you're not delivering value, it doesn't matter how many cards you deliver. It doesn't matter how many features you deliver. It doesn't matter how happy your team is. Success is delivering value to a customer. The second thing I personally consider a success is if my team is happy and working well together. So if that team is not kind of, if there's a lot of conflict and stress in the team, that's not success for me, because even if they're delivering value, they're unhappy and they're likely to kind of come apart in some way. So I try to make sure that we have a happy team. And to do that, to have a happy team that's successfully delivering value, you need psychological safety. Without that safety, to ask questions that need to be asked, to express thoughts that need to be expressed, to make connections that need to be made, you're not going to have a happy team and you're not going to deliver value. So those are kind of my definitions of success. You can measure them in a lot of different ways. Different people measure them in different ways.
Before we dive into the measurement, I think for us, and at least for me, the question, the curiosity comes from the perspective of how do we see that we are getting there? Now, of course, metrics are going to be part of the answer, but I'm sure you also have other ways, because are we learning to deliver value is a very valid question before we know how to deliver value. And even though this may sound kind of too simple, maybe even simplistic, it's actually not uncommon for teams to be successfully happy at work they do, during the work they do, and because of the work they do, but still not delivering value. It is quite common, unfortunately, for teams not even be able to access information of what value is, right? Not talking to customers, not talking to users, and not being allowed to either. So let's start there. Like, how do you help teams go from wherever they might be, the starting point, to knowing that they are delivering value, learning to deliver value?
You have to have the connections between the users and the stakeholders and the clients, whoever's going to benefit from the work in that value. You have to have those connections with the team. The team has to know who their customers are, who their users are, and what they value if they're going to provide value to them. So having that connection, whether that's through a demo, whether that's through what I really like to achieve, which is continuous collaboration, where we've got stakeholders and business owners actively involved with the team on a daily basis. That's the key to achieving true business value and delivering it with a happy team, because they know all the information is there. There's not like this magic list of requirements that lands and then they kind of shoot the deployment into space and the users magically see that there's value from it. You've got to have that day-to-day, if possible, interaction between customers, stakeholders, and the team.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, now the next is, how do they learn to collaborate better, to create their own psychological safety, and ultimately to be happy? How do you help teams go through the journey of learning those things?
It's about creating opportunities for that to happen. So what I like to do and what I encourage product owners to do is spend a good session at the beginning of a product that they're developing, doing event storming, story mapping, any of these kind of collaborative techniques that bring all the people who are involved into one place at a time. Sometimes that story mapping session is the first time that the team members are meeting the people who are going to use the product they're about to build. And hopefully it's the beginning of that relationship between those stakeholders and the team. So that story mapping and starting off in that area is really key. So that's one of the first things that I like to do. I also like to create a opportunity for them to collaborate in real time. So inviting stakeholders to turn up to the daily stand-up, inviting stakeholders to kind of come into refinement when we're doing a particular card that's in their subject matter expert domain. Any opportunity that I have to connect the people who are using and investing in this product with the people who are building it, every opportunity, whether that's meetings, whether that's tools, however we can do it, I'm going to get them in a room together as much as I can.
Absolutely. That's how we show collaboration in practice, right?
Yeah.
Get people together. Thank you for sharing that, Lynn.
Absolutely.
Hi there, Agile friends. Thank you for sticking around and listening to the details of the Product Owner Summit, this year's global summit dedicated to a critical Scrum role, the Product Owner role, of course. We'll have some amazing keynotes and 4 tracks filled with first-hand stories and experiences for product owners to learn more about that critical Scrum role. The summit will take place between April 23rd and 25th, so book your calendars. There will be loads of sessions for you to attend. One of the keynotes will be Dave West, the product owner and CEO at Scrum.org, one of the largest Scrum organizations in the world. If you want to know more, check out the details at bit.ly/product owner 2024. That's all one word, all lowercase, bit.ly/product owner 2024. We will also have 4 tracks. The 4 tracks will cover cross-functional product ownership. That's track 1. As Pixar's Ratatouille said, not every idea can be a great idea, but a great idea can come from anywhere. And this quote emphasizes the importance of a product owner being open to all ideas, regardless of the source, and also challenges us to focus on getting good ideas from everywhere and involving the whole team in the product owner role and responsibilities. The second track is Designing Products for Growth, where we explore how to craft products ready for scalable growth, merging practical strategies with innovation. The idea here is to learn to design products for growth, whether it is sales or customer acquisition. The third track is Know Your Users, user-centric approaches for agile development. In this track, we learn to master user-centric techniques in agile development, to deeply understand customer needs and transform insights into meaningful UX designs that focus on engagement and satisfaction. This is a track ideal for innovation-focused agile teams. And the fourth track, one of the most exciting tracks in my opinion, is product development with AI, ideas for product owners. Not only do we discuss about using AI in the products, but also AI for product owners to learn to make a bigger impact with the help of the AI tools that we already have. The Product Owner Summit will also present to you great opportunities to network with your peers. So get your ticket and join our Slack. You can get the ticket and join the Slack at bit.ly/product owner 2024. As always, we have free tickets and also the paid tickets that help to support this podcast. So check them out at bit.ly/product owner 2024. That's all lowercase, all one word, product owner 2024. I'll see you in the summit floor.